Hey everyone, I'm Rob. Welcome to the test drive. So today I am test driving the 2017 Toyota Corolla. Toyota sells a lot of these cars in this, again, highly competitive segment. This four-door compact car segment where you have the Elantra and the Ford Focus and the Chevy Cruze. Dodge has had the Dodge Dart in this segment for a while. Not sure if they're coming out with something new on that end. They probably should. You know, you have a lot of cars that compete in this segment. Pretty much every manufacturer is in this segment. So, what has Toyota done with their 2017 Corolla that makes this stand out from some of the other vehicles in its class? Toyota has been redesigning the Corolla very frequently. It seems like every couple of years they come out with a new facelift or some type of new look for the Corolla. They are modifying it a lot, which makes sense because they're trying to keep it up to date. So I am driving an LE. So it starts with the L as the base model. The LE is a slightly upgraded version of the L, and then you have, you know, a couple other trims, the XLE, and you know, there's really a lot of different trims for the Corolla. I have to say, I don't mind the look of this car. I mean, the front is very aggressive. It seems like Toyota took some elements that they used to put into their Scion vehicles, which you probably know they no longer make. You will not be seeing new Scions on the road anymore. But you know, that front look is actually pretty aggressive, and it's odd because if you look at the back of the car, it's almost like they're not on the same car. I mean, the front is very aggressive looking. You know, it doesn't look expensive or anything, but it is aggressive looking. And then the back just kind of looks normal. It just looks like a standard, you know, vehicle in this class. But overall, I mean, the look is not bad. It is one of the more attractive cars in this space. And I would not say that this is the most attractive segment out there, but, you know, it is what it is. You know, you have a lot of younger people that drive cars in this segment. Obviously, you know, a lot of rental car companies buy cars in this segment because you have a lot of people that rent them. They're much cheaper than renting an SUV or, you know, full size typically, or things like that. There are two different engines that you can get in the Corolla, and they are pretty much the same. One of them puts out 132 horsepower, the other one puts out 140. Torque numbers are 126 pound-feet of torque versus 128. So not much of a difference there in those engines. If you were driving either, I doubt you would notice. And to be honest with you, I don't even know which one is under the hood of this car. I really don't care because they're probably gonna feel exactly the same. And even if you 0 to 60 test them, it's probably gonna be almost exactly the same. You know, 8 horsepower, 2 pound-feet of torque. Both of them are mated to a CVT, which is a continuously variable transmission. You can also get some of the trim levels in a manual. And for this car, it's probably a lot more fun to drive a manual. The one that I have is a CVT, and I really don't like CVTs. But this one does not feel as bad, to me at least, as other ones that I've driven. So for those of you that don't know what a CVT is, it is essentially a gearless gearbox. When you step on it, you go to 5,000–6,000 RPMs, and it's gonna hold those RPMs until you let off of the gas. It does not shift like a normal car. A lot of people don't even probably notice the difference between a CVT and a regular transmission because they don't care. Anybody who really likes driving, or certainly if you're somebody who knows how to drive a manual, you are definitely going to notice a CVT versus a normal automatic transmission. Now here's the thing with this CVT. It is part of the reason that this car gets such great gas mileage. I've been driving for just about an hour now, and I'm getting 40 miles to the gallon. The EPA rates this car at 30 miles per gallon city, 40 on the highway. Those are very good numbers, and I'm not even trying, and I'm getting 40 miles per gallon on average. So it's truly amazing. I mean, I'm driving 80 miles an hour. I am not keeping my foot off the gas. I mean, I'm not trying to get good gas mileage, and I am. So, I can only imagine how well this car would do if I actually tried to get, if I actually tried to drive economically. I would probably get somewhere in the low 40s. So, I'm definitely impressed with the fuel economy on this car. Now, it is a pretty small tank because I just filled it up, and the range for the tank is about 340 miles. So not a big tank, but you do go very far on a tank of gas. And this is also a front-wheel drive vehicle. There is no all-wheel drive or obviously rear-wheel drive version of the Corolla. This is, strictly front-wheel drive, 4-cylinder, continuously variable transmission unless you get a manual. Impressed with a couple of features inside of this Toyota Corolla LE. I mean, obviously being more of a base model, this has just standard cloth seats, it doesn't have a moonroof, or, it doesn't have any appearance elements on the outside. I mean, you have just standard wheels with hubcaps. Nothing exciting on that end, but there are some pretty cool features on the interior of this car that I'm surprised are in the LE. I mean, this is essentially a base model, and it comes standard with some pretty cool features. Number one is the backup camera. And I know that manufacturers are now going to be putting backup cameras on all vehicles. They're mandated to by federal law, but the backup camera on this car is pretty nice. I mean, the touchscreen is, a decent size. I think Ford's standard touchscreen is quite smaller. Obviously, you can get the bigger one with the Sync 3 and everything, which is very nice. But, for a base system, I mean, the size is pretty good, and the quality of the camera is pretty good. It's better than what I would have expected. One thing that I do not like that is also in my Ford Fusion is that the buttons around the touchscreen are not real buttons. Now, they do look nice here, but like any, button that isn't real, it's annoying. If you're, driving 80 miles an hour down the highway and you have to look at the button because you can't feel where it is, that is kind of frustrating. The other thing I really like is that on this touchscreen you can actually see statistics about your car. So you can see your mileage and how long you've been driving, your average speed, all of that. You can see all of that information on the touchscreen. It also has the screen in between the tach and the speedometer where you can look at it as well. I would have liked to see Apple CarPlay in this car, but I don't know if Toyota has that in a higher end version of this car, or if they don't, they obviously will be getting it at some point. I think every car is going to have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto coming out pretty soon. I also really like the temperature adjustment. The fact that it may be the only car in this class that has it where you actually have an electronic display where you pick the temperature that you want versus just, turning it to all max cold or max heat or whatever. It's just nicer. Another really cool feature that I can't believe this car has is lane departure warning. So turning it on right now, and I'm going to drift out of my lane, and it literally turns the wheel so that I'm back in my lane. I mean, it's really cool. I've been driving with it turned off for pretty much the whole time because it's not a feature that I really care for, but it is really cool that it has it. You know, Toyota put some other cool design elements in this car. If you look at the back seats, you have some red trim. There's still a lot of hard plastic in the car, but you do have some softer surfaces that are a nice touch. Now, I wouldn't say this is the most comfortable vehicle to drive. These seats, there is absolutely nothing special about them. They are just standard cloth seats. They have some like hard mesh material around them too, which I don't really care for. But for being such a small car, it actually has a pretty decent amount of room. I'm 6 feet tall and I can fit just fine behind myself. So I'm pretty impressed because I would have expected the back seat in this car to be extremely cramped. The trunk space is not bad either. You can fit maybe two large suitcases back there. So overall, I really don't hate this car. And when I say that I don't hate this car, it means that for what it is, I actually kind of like it. I got into this car expecting that I wasn't going to like it. And it turns out that it's not bad at all. The fact that for under $20,000 you can get a car that is this good on gas and has the technology that it has in it and has the space that it has, I mean, I think that is phenomenal. This is a pretty good car from Toyota in this space. So once again, I'm Rob. This is The Test Drive. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel, comment or like on the video below. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think of the other vehicles in this segment. Also, please follow me on Instagram at The Test Drive NY. Thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to the next video. Talk to you soon.